Good evening, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. It's Jenn B, and you are listening to the Show of the Land on ID Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tonight, we are going to sadly talk about the Browns. We won't spend much time on them because there's not much to talk about. Then we will talk about some college football. We will talk about how the crew is finishing out the season. We will get into the Columbus Blue Jackets, how they wrapped up preseason, their opening night roster, and the beginning of the regular season. Then we will talk about Cavs training camp and preseason getting started. We got a little bit of news about the Charge, and then we will wrap things up with the playoff Cleveland Guardians. So stay right here with the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Good evening, one and all. You are listening to the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We are going to get into some football and football first, but before we do that, we are going to hear a little word from our sponsors. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky and Seal the Deal Wax Seals. And of course, from IE Sports Radio, the platform that brings you this show and all of our other shows as well. So stay right here, and we will be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Once again, huge shout out to our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Be sure to head over to planetjerky.net to place your orders today. It is the best jerky out there. And Seal the Deal Wax Seals. You can head over to iesportsradio.com/seal the deal wax seals to place your orders to give that extra special finish to your invitations, letters, and gifts. And of course, be sure to follow IE Sports Radio on X, IG, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. If you missed the live shows, you can always catch the playback on all of these wonderful options: Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, etc., etc. You can follow me. The show is at Show of the Land IE on X, and then my personal accounts are Believe Land Girl on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Instagram and Threads, and at Jen.believeland on TikTok. Now, we don't really want to talk about this, but here we are. Let's talk about the Browns. So we have a Mike Hall Jr. and a Deshaun Watson update. Mike Hall Jr. has been suspended for 5 games by the NFL for the domestic violence charges he faced over the summer. And due to him having been on the commissioner's exempt list for the entire season, he is eligible to return this week. Deshaun Watson settled the case that was brought against him earlier this season. And the settlement per the plaintiff's attorney, Tony Busby, is confidential. So we can move on with our lives now. We have some roster moves and injury updates, of course. The Browns waived running back Gary Brightwell and then re-signed him to the practice squad. Defensive end Alex Wright has been placed on IR and will miss the remainder of the season with torn triceps, which really stinks for him. He was having a really great season. I feel terrible for him. I believe he's on it's either the last year or the second to last year of his rookie deal. So that really stinks that he can't be out there showing what he can do. The Browns activated guard Michael Dunn from the NFI list, and Nick Chubb and Nyheim Hines returned to practice last week. Neither were activated for the game on Sunday, so we will continue to keep an eye on them. As I have said to a few people already, with the way this team is playing, I don't know that I want Nick Chubb to return. I'm a little afraid he might just get hurt again, especially with the way the offensive line has been playing. Speaking of Sunday, we played the Washington Commanders. The Browns lost 34-13. Everyone is hurt. like, it's not even worth listing the injuries because there's so many of them. Charlie Hewlett went out, even the long snapper during the game against the Commanders with a rib injury. They had a tight end doing the long snaps for the rest of the game. It was just awful. The offensive line was atrocious. Again, Deshaun Watson was sacked 7 times. On a bright side, because I guess we should include a bright side, the defense did record 2 turnovers, so there's that. But once again, 34-13 loss. This team still has yet to score more than 18 points in a game. I'm not spending a whole lot of time on the Browns because they piss me off. I am so over them right now. The next game is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern against the Philadelphia Eagles. I expect it to be another loss unless something really significant changes this week. Like I said, the offensive line was absolutely atrocious. The defense wasn't spectacular. They gave up 34 points. Part of that was the offense giving the Commanders short fields and things of that nature. But even still, it was all the way around a bad game. Just no fun. It was no fun. I honestly turned it off after halftime. I'm not sure if they need to make a change at quarterback or what. Truly, Deshaun Watson's not playing awful. He's just constantly under attack. So there's only so much you can do when you're in that situation. So, it is what it is, but I don't know. Moving on. We are going to move on to some brighter news. Let's talk about them Buckeyes. The Ohio State Buckeyes took on fellow Big Ten opponent Iowa and won 35-7. Will Howard was 21 for 25 with 209 yards. He threw for 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. Emeka Ibuka had 3 receiving touchdowns in the game. And their next game will be Saturday against number 3, Oregon. And that game will be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. This will be the first ranked opponent that Ohio State is facing. So this is going to be their first real test. So we'll see. And as you can see, Ohio State is back up to number 2. So we will see how this all plays out against Oregon on Saturday. But so far, they are 5-0. And have had resounding wins in every game. But we'll see if it lasts. But I'll tell you, Jeremiah Smith is really putting on a show. Like, people are talking about Jeremiah Smith all over the place. Now for D3, number 3, Mount Union. The Purple Raiders played Otterbein on Saturday, and they won 21-0. So they, too, are 5-0. Their next game is Saturday. It will be their homecoming game, and they will be playing Wilmington at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So good luck to both of those teams as they take on their next opponents. Hopefully, Ohio State can get the big win against the number 3 ranked team. Now for some soccer or football, as we like to call it. The Crew's last 2 matches, on Wednesday, they played Inter Miami, and unfortunately, they lost, so they will finish no higher than 2nd place in the Eastern Conference. They lost 3-2. Diego Rossi recorded a goal at the 46th minute, and Cucho Hernandez scored a goal on a penalty kick at the 61st minute. Saturday, the Crew took on Philadelphia Union again. I feel like they've played Philadelphia Union a lot this last few weeks, but I think this is their third match against them because they also played them in the Leagues Cup. Cucho Hernandez had goals at 4 minutes and 76 minutes, and Mo Farsi had a goal at the 41st minute, and the Crew won 3-2 with Cucho Hernandez's second goal of the night. He set the club record for most goal contributions in a single season at 32. And with the win, the team set a club record for the most points scored in a single season at 60. And Mo Farsi was named Man of the Match. In other awards, Cucho Hernandez was named MLS Player of the Match for Match Day 37. Cucho Hernandez and Mo Farsi were both named to the starting 11 for the team of the match day 37, and Dylan Chambos was named to the bench of a team of the match day for match day 37. So congratulations to those three gentlemen. Now, unfortunately, the Crew have some, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, some international call-ups, which is going to leave them shorthanded again. Cucho Hernandez, Mo Farsi, Nicholas Hagan, Patrick Schulte, and Taha Habron have all been called up for the FIFA international window. So they will be with their respective country teams. Cucho, Colombia, Mo Farsi. I'm not sure. I'm not remembering it. I want to say Cape Verde, but I could be wrong on this. Nicholas Hagan is Guatemala. Patrick Schulte is the U.S. And Taha Habron, I'm honestly not sure. And it didn't say in the report that I saw, so I'm not 100% positive what country that he is called up for. But they are all called up. So they will be away from the team for a bit. The Crew's next match is a Saturday against New England, and that will be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So both the Crew and the Buckeyes will be playing at the same time on Saturday. So that should be fun. But yeah, I'm not sure how long the international call-ups are for. So I'm not sure if we will have any of these guys for Saturday's match. Thankfully, the Crew only have one match over the next week. They don't play again until the following Saturday. So hopefully they will at least get them back before the last game of the season on the 19th. But as of right now, that's where we stand. And that is going to wrap things up for the first part of the show. Shout out to Patty Bax, who is in the chat. She is the host of the Buffalo Huddle, which will be on at 7 p.m. over on Spreaker right after my show ends. And I am going to take a short break. And when I come back, we will talk about some hockey and some basketball. So stay right here listening to the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And we will be right back after this.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Welcome back to the show of the land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Shout out to Let's Whine About DMV Sports with Mike Pat and Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris. Let's Whine About DMV Sports is usually on Fridays, but the last few weeks has been on Saturday. So, just keep an eye out on the schedule. Mike covers Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia, most notably the Commanders and the Ravens. Boo. And Philly Sports Talk, of course, covers all that is Philadelphia sports, and they are on later tonight. Now let's get into the Blue Jackets. Let's wrap up the preseason. On Wednesday, the Blue Jackets played the St. Louis Blues, and they won 3-1. Yegor Chinnikov, Gavin Brindley, and Matthew Olivier recorded 1 goal each. Thursday, they played the Pittsburgh Penguins and lost 3-1. Cole Sillinger recorded the lone goal. Friday, they finished out the preseason again against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I almost said Pirates. And they lost 7-3. Mikhail Putia, Cole Clayton, and Kent Johnson recorded the 3 goals. So overall, not a terrible preseason, not the greatest, but not awful. They went, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 4-4. So not terrible. Not terrible at all. And they scored goals. So what more can you ask for? Especially given everything this team has been through. We have some roster moves. The Blue Jackets assigned forward Kevin LeBlanc to a 1-year NHL contract. He's 28 years old and last played for the San Jose Sharks. He has a career 82 goals, 143 assists for 225 points in 8 seasons with the Sharks. They also claimed forward Zach Aston Reese off of waivers. He is 30 years old and has recorded 42 goals in 310 NHL games. He actually grew up with Kevin LeBlanc in Staten Island, New York, and the two are best friends. So they are very excited to be on the team together. Sadly, Boone Jenner has been placed on the IR with an upper body injury, and that stinks. And we will see what happens there. The Blue Jackets just released their opening night roster, and the forwards are Cole Sillinger, Sean Corrali, Dylan Gambrell, Adam Fantilli, James Van Rimstick, Sean Monahan, Matthew Olivier, Zach Aston Reese, Yegor Chinnikov, Kevin LeBlanc, Mikhail Putia, Kirill Marchenko, and Kent Johnson. So congratulations to Mikhail Putia for the promotion from Cleveland, at least for now. The defensemen, Jake Christensen, Jack Johnson, Zach Wawrinski, Ivan Provorov, Jordan Harrison, Eric Goodbranson, David Juracek, and Damon Severson. Congratulations to Jake Christensen also on the promotion there from the Monsters. And the goaltenders are, as expected, Daniil Tarasov and Elvis Merzlikins. The Blue Jackets will get the season underway on Thursday. They will take on the Minnesota Wild in Minnesota. And then on Saturday, they will be taking on the Colorado Avalanche in Colorado. And those are the only two games this week. So we will get more in depth into their schedule next week. But hockey is underway. Oh, I forgot to change the thing. There we go. Season starts Thursday. So hockey is underway, and we will be seeing the Blue Jackets in action real soon. Shout out to Taryn Rodriguez, who has joined us in the chat. He is the host of Set Point, our volleyball show, which you can catch on Mondays. And he is also the host of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show for all your Southern California sports needs. And you can catch that show on Fridays. He is also the co-host of a 3 and Out College Edition, which is on bright and early Saturday mornings. So you can catch him there as well for all of your college football needs. Now let's get into some basketball. The Cavs started training camp last week, and it is taking place in Sarasota, Florida. From all accounts, Jalen Tyson, the first pick the Cavs had in this last draft, is impressing everyone so far in camp. Amoni Bates underwent arthroscopic, I can never say that word, surgery on a torn meniscus, and he will be reevaluated in a month. As of now, his return to basketball activities is to be determined. In other news, Donovan Mitchell is working hard to get a WNBA team in Cleveland. The WNBA is looking to add at least one more team, might be more than that, but they are looking to add some teams, and Donovan Mitchell is pushing hard for one of those teams to be in Cleveland. So we will definitely keep an eye on that. Cavs preseason starts tonight. They will be taking on the Chicago Bulls here in about 24 minutes. I believe the game starts at 7. And then on Thursday, they will be taking on the Indiana Pacers, also preseason. And we have just one little bit of Charge news. The Charge traded their 2025 second round pick and returning player rights for guard Sam Merrill to Wisconsin for returning player rights to guard Elijah Hughes. Sam Merrill is currently on the Cavs roster, But should he be sent down to G League or waived by the Cavs, he would report to the Wisconsin Herd. That is about it for hockey and basketball. So I am going to take another short break and we will close out the show with the fantastic AL Central champion Guardians. So stay right here with the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And we'll be right back after this.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernick.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the 08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies.
And your one-timers.
You wicked wristas.
And be sure to protect your five-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
What's good, sports fans? It's your boy Aaron Yell, and if you are looking for sports takes that live a mile above the rest, look no further than Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Want to talk about NBA, MVPs, and champions? Yeah, that's us. Perhaps a baseball team that no matter how they play, you just can't quit them? Yep, we've got that too. What about Stanley Cups, NHL award winners in the burgundy and blue? You got it. How about Buffaloes that run, pass, shoot, dunk? You bet. For all things Colorado sports, look no further than right here, every Sunday at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, and 7 Pacific. Because if that light is red and the kids are in bed, you are listening to Mile High Musings, where we praise the Lord and cheer for them Denver Broncos. Stay good, sports fans.
Welcome back to the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Be sure to check out the Neutral Zone, which will be on later tonight, for all of your hockey needs, and Mile High Musings with Aaron Yao for all of your Denver sports needs. And you can get the whole listing of all of our shows right here on iesportsradio.com. Now, for the only team that makes us happy right now. Well, other than the Buckeyes, I guess, also. Now for some Guardians. So the Tigers ended up sweeping the Astros in the wild card round. So the Guardians are now facing the Detroit Tigers in the ALDS. Game 1 was on Saturday. Shout out to Ralph Calise, who jumped in the chat. He is the host of the Yinzer Report for all of your Pittsburgh sports needs. And Ralph, you are very welcome. Anyway, the Guardians Saturday took on the Detroit Tigers in game 1 of the ALDS, and boy, what a game it was. The Guardians won 7-0. Lane Thomas hit a 3-run home run in the first inning. It was his first career postseason home run in, I believe, his first career postseason game also. And by the end of the first inning, the Guardians were up 5-0. You can't ask for a better start to a postseason game than that, can you? Well, it was short-lived. Monday, game 2, the Guardians again took on the Tigers. Both of these games were in Cleveland, and both were complete sellouts. Unfortunately, on Monday, the Guardians lost 3-0. However, it was a 0-0 until the 9th inning. There were 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning, and it was still 0-0. Unfortunately, Clase gave up a 3-run home run in the 9th. It was the first 3-run home run Clase has ever given up in his entire major league career. Terrible time for it to happen, but it happened, and it is what it is. On to the next game. So the next game is tomorrow in Detroit at 3:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Game 4 will be Thursday, also in Detroit at 6:08 p.m. Eastern Standard. And game 5, if needed, will be in Cleveland on Saturday at 4:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I have not seen who the Guardians are pitching tomorrow. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it will be my God, I can't think of his name. Adam Gose. No, not Adam Gose. Alex Cobb. Alex Cobb. I believe it will be Alex Cobb. Game 4. If we win game 3, I would not be surprised if game 4 is not Tanner Bybee again. We will see. If we lose game 3, then I think they'll save Tanner Bybee for game 5. But if we win game 3, I think they will try and close it out in game 4 and go with Tanner Bybee. But we will see how that plays out. Like I said, game 1 was unbelievable. Game 2 was a great game right up until it wasn't. We did go against Tariq Skubal, who is likely to be the unanimous, if not near unanimous, if not unanimous, Cy Young winner for the American League. So it is what it is. They did play very well. Stephen Kwan had an unbelievable catch. John Kenzie Noel threw a guy out at second who was attempting to get a double on a ball into deep right field. So, I mean, they played as well as could be expected. Unfortunately, I think Vogt just left Clase in a little too long. They brought him in the 8th inning, and he was on his 18th pitch when the batter that hit the 3-run home run came up to bat. So I think he was close to his done time, and they just left him in just a little bit too long. We do have a roster move for the Guardians. Unfortunately, Tyler Freeman has an oblique injury, so Angel Martinez has been added to the active roster as his replacement. So good luck to the Guardians tomorrow and Thursday. Hopefully we can win both of those games and just be done with it and move on to the ALCS. But if not, we will be cheering on the Guardians on Friday. Unless, of course, we lose both of those games, then we will just be crying. because that's what we do in Cleveland, because the Browns suck. Guys, the Browns are so bad. Oh, I can't with the Browns anymore. So I need the Guardians to stay tough and stay in this thing as long as possible until the Browns either figure it out or fall off a cliff or whatever. But that is going to wrap things up for tonight's show. It's a little bit of a shorter show tonight. We will get a little more in depth about the Blue Jackets and the Cavs next week. I have been battling some travel exhaustion over the last week from my trip to Chicago. So I have just not had the energy to put some more stuff together regarding the Blue Jackets and the Cavs. We should know a little bit more about where the Cavs are at next week too, since preseason starts tonight. We'll see how Kenny Atkinson is playing things, and we'll have a little bit more information on them. And then the Blue Jackets will be a couple of games into the regular season. We'll see if any of the guys that are on IR are able to get back on the active roster anytime soon. Hopefully we'll have some injury updates as the press conferences start to take place with the season opening. And then of course, we'll talk about the Browns. I don't want to, but it is what it is. We will also, of course, touch on our college teams and the Crew, but the Crew only have one match this week, so there shouldn't be too much news on the Crew, and shouldn't be too much new with the college football teams either. But we will see if Ohio State can beat their first ranked opponent of the season. Let's see what this team is really made of. Finally, I feel like half the season is over and they haven't even played a legitimate opponent yet. Here we go. So this should be a really, really good game. We'll get to see what this team really has and how they can stand up against another ranked opponent. And, Sunday we'll see if the Browns can turn the page and maybe be the team that we all thought they were going to be this season. I don't know. There's still a lot of injuries, but we won't have any updates on the injuries probably until tomorrow. So we'll see where things stand with that. And, like I said, we'll talk Blue Jackets and Cavs. And hopefully we'll still be talking Guardians this time next week. Hopefully we will be talking about their ALCS opponent and when that series gets underway. Thank you one and all for joining me on the Show of the Land with Jenn B right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Stay tuned at 7 o'clock for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax. You can catch that over on Spreaker. Later on tonight, the Phillies Sports Talk will be on. The Neutral Zone will be on, and Sin City Sports. So be sure to check out those shows for your hockey, or for your Buffalo, Philadelphia hockey, and Vegas sports needs. Thank you once again for joining me, and I will catch you all next Tuesday, same time, same place.